start with the meeting procedure. As always, I will make the presentation first, and the session for questions and answers will be due at the end of the presentation. For the questions, each person will take a turn at the microphone in front, stating their name, lot number, and your question. Please try to make only one question to provide opportunity to talk everybody. Okay, the next point is the Administrator and Supervisory Committee. I want to thank the EDR Committee, Dick Peterson, Steve Keeney, Ed Jones, La Ventana del Mar, Hans Washut, Dennis Lavin, Anas Villas, Gary Lambert, and Marta Rizek for all their support and help. Have been very, very valuable in all the work we do. The next point is to remind you of the dates that are coming ahead of us. The next town hall is going to be held in June 23rd, and the last one in September 29th. Development meetings on April 28th, November 1st. General Assembly meetings in November 3 for EDR, November 2 for EDR, November 3 for La Ventana del Mar and Las Villas. And there's going to be 2 workshops, one in April 11, July 11. This means that any proposal that you have to make to the administrator, you can send it via email to me, and we will present it to the Supervisors Committee, and then we will call you back to make your presentation. The next one is a newsletter. I'm talking here about the January newsletter, February newsletter, and the next one, which is going just after the town hall meeting, the March newsletter. We have found out that when we check the hits at the website, the most reviewed thing is a newsletter. So we are very sure that there is a very good tool of communication with all the community. And I am not just talking about the community of people who lives here, because there is thousands of people who doesn't still live at El Dorado or La Ventana, and they are not aware, as you are day by day, what is happening in the ranch. So the newsletter is a very good tool to reach the people and let them know what is happening, what we are doing, and how our community is developing. So in this newsletter, we are having a lot of information. Taxes, for example, for all the people who is unaware, usually we have a girl at the customer service office. Unfortunately, this year she has to go through surgery, and she has not come back yet to her work, to her job at the county. And she is the only one who speaks English, so that's why we don't have another person helping us, because that makes everybody very easy to pay the taxes. But she promised to be back next year. The other thing is the taxes can be paid online. If you are here in San Felipe, you can go to the town hall in downtown San Felipe, and you can pay directly with the offices of tax revenues there. It's very easy. It doesn't take you more than 10 minutes. Excuse me, 10 minutes. The line is like 1 or 2 persons, so it's very, very short. And the other thing is, if you are not here, for those people who is going to be the video in our website about the meeting, you can get online and pay your taxes online. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes the county has problems with their web and everything, but many people can pay and can pay. And if not, you can call our customer service office and we will help you out with that. So we want to help you out. Another thing that it's in the process is in the newsletter, for example, there is information about the HSBC Fideicomiso. Right now there is a process happening between HSBC and the new bank that the company is working with, which is BIM, Banco Inmobiliario Mexicano, but we call it BIM because it's a lot shorter and easier. So right now they are making negotiations, and it's easier if you read the newsletter, all the information is there. So for now, hold your payments. Don't pay until all the deal with the two banks is done. Even with the HSBC, they suggested us to tell you, don't pay for now. Okay, the next one is calendar of events. You know, Activities Office always put out the activities calendars each month, and they make a yearly one, so you are aware of everything that we are doing or developing. The tennis people events, the Quill Guild, we have article about the dog park too, so there's plenty of information. You will be entertained for a while reading the newsletter. So it is a very good tool to get acquainted and to get to know what we are doing. The next one is the supervisor's position for renewal at November General Assembly meetings. There's going to be one position at La Ventana del Mar, and there's going to be one position at Las Villas. So if you want to participate, you want to be one of our supervisors, please send your information to my attention via email, and we will, with a brief story of what you have been doing in your work life, your experience, and why you would like to be part of the supervisors committee. Okay, so serving the community is a very good and pleasant opportunity to be in contact with whatever is happening at the HOA. The next point in the agenda is the safety and security issues. I want to comment first of all the coyote thing and wild dogs around the ranch. We are receiving very often commentaries about that the beach is not clean. We clean it twice a day, but the dogs are roaming in the beach and they come and they don't bother us. So it's not easy to keep it clean. Many people have said, no, it's the owners of the dogs. No, we have seen these wanderer dogs many times. Sometimes maybe one dog of one owner do it, the owner doesn't pick it up. But we have been looking at the beach and mainly is the wanderer dogs. We will try to keep it as clean as possible, but this is a problem we have. We will find a way to solve it. The other thing is the coyote thing. Many people, and I recognize the humanitarian part of it, of animals that are maybe without food, maybe without water, but the animals fend for themselves. They have been over there more years than we. So they have instincts, they find the water, and they find the food. Be careful, because in the food chain, we are part of it. And I am not joking. I went into the internet and I saw coyote attacks in the United States, and they are big and they are very smart. The other day I was in my office while I was going out of my office, and I saw one of our owner's cars driving by with a small dog barking, and I said, to whom the dog is barking? I turned around and I saw a coyote, a single coyote. The coyote tried to reach the car and then back up. And I said, well, he got scared by the car. And the small dog kept barking, and suddenly 4 coyotes came out of nowhere. So they were trying to ambush a small dog. And not only that, they chased the car. So I say, I hope so the guy doesn't stop right at his house. He lost them because I called security. Yes. Right here in front of my office at the left side. They are wandering all around. We already give advice to Profepa, and our ecology department is on that. So if you see the coyotes around your house, call Punto Uno, let us know, because we are setting traps to get them, not to kill them, because we are in the area that is protected, so we cannot kill even a spider. So if we catch them, we are going to release them in the mountains where they are not damaged to us. Second thing, many people is feeding rabbits or the field rats because same thing, poor animals. And then you complain about snakes around your house. Be aware, the snakes eat rabbits and they eat rats. Desert rats, they are not the ugly bad ones. These are ecology rats. So, but the thing is that, remember that everything is a chain. So if you feed the rabbits, they get breeding. So there's more food and there's more snakes. As more food is available, all the species grow. So be careful. We have coralillos and we have rattlesnakes, so we have to be very aware of this. Just don't feed them, they will fend for themselves. And I will really thank you if you do that. Okay, the next point in the agenda is collection effort. We have a very good year in 2017, and we are going to work hard to get another one this year. We have been working with the residents and with the people who live outside of the ranch. We have done many good collections, even from past years. Another good thing of the newsletter is that because when we are contacting the people who is not living at the ranch, we tell them, read the newsletter, go into the web, look at the beautiful new pickleball courts that we have, look at everything we are having now that we didn't have before. We are presenting here in the slideshows all the work that we have done from the last September town hall to today. We have 85 slides, so that means that we have been working. The next one is another thing. You have seen a homeless guy who is roaming all around number 5. Same thing, Christianity is very good, I agree. But not all the people who receive the favors is good. This guy, for your knowledge, he has come to the gas station and he changes big bills for all the small coins that he received. So he is not in that need. Everybody's giving him food, everybody's giving him money, so he will never leave that area. For twice, he has come to our guards and entrances. The first time he came to one of our guards and he said, "You robbed my tent." And he says, "No, we have not even come closer to your tent, and I have never been there." He take out a machete and he tried to hit him twice. So this is the poor guy who is wandering around the Highway 5. We called the police, he was taken to the police station, and he's so smart that he played dumb. Really, he started acting like, "What are you telling me?" Exactly like that. And the judge believed him. The judge said, "You know, this is an insane person in his mind. He cannot put in jail because he doesn't know what he's doing." So he's still not there. Another thing, one of our residents gave him a ride, and then he doesn't want to come down. Good thing is that the lady who was giving the ride went to the gas station and come out of the car. So when the guy saw him surrounded by people, not in the car, but people around, he came down and went away. But who knows what else can happen. So please, the wandering people, I understand they're humans, I respect them as you, but please don't bring problems to our ranch. It's sad to say it, but we have to take him out of there. And it's going to be very hard if we keep him rich. Because if he can change big bills at the gas station for small coins that the gas station needs, you see that he's receiving a lot of money. Okay. Just notes that you know that we are into anything that is in security. It's one of my main concerns after collecting. Okay, the next one is projects that we finished this year, La Ventana del Mar International Pickleball Center in La Palapa. If you haven't been there, please go. You will love it. We have an inauguration ceremony. The pickleball club was very satisfied. And we have bring specialized people to help us to do this job. Our own personnel have learned to do it. And right now we are saving tons of money each time that we redo a tennis court or a pickleball court. Because right now we don't have to pay all that big expense that a professional expert charge. Right now we have experts in our team, which we pay a salary, not a special work salary. Okay, the next one is EDR pool equipment. The pool equipment and shades, we are going to start to work on them on March 15. We are going to make permanent shades because the umbrellas, they break each year and it's very hard to take them out. The people like the shade and sometimes the wind is very strong. Say, no, you are not taking it out, so they break. And we will be spending year after year money in umbrellas. Right now we are going to do permanent shades and we are going to start on March 15. We are going to start the first one and then we are going to do one by month. This project, we work it out with Ricardo Montaño, the architect. So he has all the layout of all the community center. So we don't want to make something that doesn't look good, that looks ugly or whatever. So he has been coordinating all this effort, and our team of maintenance people will start working on that on March 15. The tennis courts, we already start stripping out court number 2 as this moment has to be totally stripped out. And we are going to finish that one in March 19. Tennis club tournament is going to be starting on the 20th. So we'll finish on the 19th and the courts will be very good. Right now we'll have in good condition number 1, number 2 and number 3. Number 4, after finishing the tennis court number 2, we are going to redo number 4. So we'll have 4 tennis courts prime class again. And then, when we finish all of these, which will be maybe by July, we will do the conversion of the pickleball courts that are in Cachanilla to a tennis court as was specified before. So we'll have 5 tennis courts, or like they want to call it the central court. It will be the tennis center and the pickleball center. So that will set 2 very good premises for our residents, our renters, and our visitors to enjoy. The next one is parking spaces. Maybe you have seen the last one we did. It's right in front of the pickleball courts, the new ones, going into the condos areas. There are 4 new spaces for parking cars. That is solving slowly but steady the problem that we have at the condos for the parking of cars, residents, renters, whatever. For sure, we always receive complaints that it's too far from my condo. Sorry, we cannot make a space in each condo. I would like to, but it's no way. The other one, which is very important to me too, but sometimes we have to be taking in count the number of people that we have to work, which is limited number of employees, is the security center at EDR in Punto Uno. We want to complete that, start and complete that project this year, and it's going to be very, very, very good, very efficient. Right now, I can tell you that Ricardo Perez, who is right there in the back, he is our contact with all the authorities in town. So we were talking with 3 different police officers from 3 different corporations, and he told us how many robberies or intrusions you have at the ranch. Ricardo answered, well, maybe 2 And not sometimes it's just intrusion, sometimes it's a robbery, but it's due to 2 or 3 a month. He said, only that? He said, yes. How many did he say that they have daily in town? 7 reported burglaries in town daily. We have at most 3 in a month. And some of them, they are not burglaries. They just come into the property, crossing into the ranch. We detect them, we stop them, and take them away. And there are so many other things that we are doing, but until completed, I will let you know. Okay, the next thing is storms and road maintenance. I will show you in the slideshow where we are going, where we have been doing dirt road in the different areas of the EDR. And the storms we have God grace that He hasn't sent too big storms to us, only nice rains. So our water has been replenished, but with not too much damage to our streets. And the other one after this is the slide presentation. Sorry that I don't sound very good, but I have a cold. It's killing me. I'm going to do the slide presentation now. To show you what we have been doing. I'm going to send it out here. Estoy sentado, ¿no? Okay. Slide is HOA meeting March 2018 at the Royal Ranch La Ventana del Mar, Las Villas, HOA, Roberto Islas. We'll start with El Dorado. This is the last walkway light that we had not finished at Cachanilla Pool. Right now it's done, so we are finished with this one. This is right next to the bathrooms in the trunk, so that was the last one. The one thing, very good thing about these lights is that they are permanent, and we only do them once, then we maintain them, painting them, or whatever it happens. But the other ones cost $150 a piece, and they were broken very, very easily. Okay, next one, please. This is the area around the horseshoes benches, repaired and painted. Here was the workshop of our people before we finished the warehouse. That is the workshop next to the pump room in the pools. So right now, everybody can enjoy these ones back. There's not going to be any more work done there, because right now they can work inside. Next, please. The Catanilla Pool Creek maintenance, this is permanent. They get stained by the oils of the body and the sand and the many debris that fly with the wind. So they have to be washing them. You can see them with water pressure. And we clean them. You can see them here in white, and then they start becoming gray again. So this is a permanent work. And we clean out all the channels around the pools. Right now they are very clean, working perfectly. Next, please. The Cachanilla Pool Access Road repair. This was called for our attention by a resident. He told us, you know, guys, we used to have a very nice path coming in, very clear marked. And we said, yeah, you know, I haven't seen it before because I was not here at that time, but somebody told me, yes, it was true. So I said, okay, let's redo it again. It's here. So it's easier. We market all the areas again for parking spaces, everything. We will be doing that from time to time. Next, please. We have water leak at Cachanilla Pool area. You can see the deep that we have to go. And this is regular maintenance. The materials came up on time because they were out. Remember that we are in sand, so the water is unstable. It moves, and that causes the breakages too. Next one, please. Do you remember the shower that is next to your jacuzzi? It didn't have a way out. The water didn't have a way out. So we make this cesspool so the water comes by pipe over here, and we don't have that problem anymore. The water is out, and this is the way it looks from outside. Next, please. Cachanilla pump room iron stairs. In the past, they were the kinds that they have like in the towers, straight, and we have a couple of accidents. Sometimes the guys doesn't see where they are putting their feet on, and they fall down, one hurt his back and one hurt his ankle. So we decide, that's it. Let's do them. Fortunately, like I told you, we train our people to do everything. So they make the stairs, they did it in the right way, and right now it has a railing, it has perfect size steps, so I think so we won't have that problem anymore. Next, please. Main pool, new water heated at Cachanilla maintenance building. This is a new one, and it's great. This is when they were finishing installing it, and this is the way it looks right now. This provides that we won't be running out of heating of the pool anytime. Next, only if it breaks down suddenly for some reason. Tennis court steps, with the help of the tennis club, they were telling us, we need this, we need that, which when the community work with us in that way, communicating what they want to do or what their opinions are in the areas, that helped us a lot. So we finished, finally we have these steps all around each door in all the courts. They are installed, so they are going to last a long time, with cement in the last step, or the top step. Next, please. Trash curtain repair. We do it from time to time. When it's a normal deterioration, we do it. When the truck for the garbage break them up, they repair them. That's a deal that we have with the company that picks up the trash. Next one, please. Another thing, the dog park community dog owners that embrace this idea and put it to work with the HOA, and was accepted. They have been working very diligently, and we put tires there, they pay them, and they are making fun things for the dogs. Recently, Sue, who is the head of the fort, Sue Green, she told us that she has a new waste station for the poopy of the dogs and all that, with bags and everything. So we went and we installed it. So right now there are 2 stations, and there are more plans coming up. This group of people who is working at the dog park, they are doing very nice things, and they keep working very, very, very good. Thank you for all that, for the people who is working at the dog park too. Next, please. Electric road maintenance. In here we didn't put red dirt, we just maintain it. The rain helps a lot doing that, because it helps us pack it up without too much effort. The cars do it. Next. Paseo del Sol, road maintenance, same thing. Here we didn't put red dirt, it's just the maintenance, but the roads are, well, next. Saltito Road, maintenance, same thing. Each time that it rains lightly, it's like we do this again, because it packed up the sand again. Next, please. Here we added red dirt up to John Avenue. You can see that we have put, here are the people watching that the trucks put the dirt and the machines work to spread it out. Next, please. Red dirt added to Los Tordos Street, with same thing. You can see here several dumps of earth, and here is the spreading. So you can see that we're maintaining more and more roads. Each time we go to a new area, We have a plan, so we are following it. Next one, please. Red alert to Parlor Street, same thing. You can see the dirt, and the machine's working. They are on the other side. Okay, next please. We have at the gates pumps for pumping the water into the gates. Right here is at Camino Nuevo gate. They were exposed and they didn't look very nice here. They were looking like this. So we decided to cover them in an enclosure like this. It blends with the building, so it doesn't make a difference and it looks a lot better. You can see it here. Next, please. So it's not just maintaining, we try to beautify the area at the same time. This was one of the gates that was most deteriorated because I have to say it was not, this is the most remote and not on view of them all. This is at the end of Santinto Road. So in the roof, in the upper part, the wood in the floor was very bad. Our guys told us, you know, it's dangerous, we can step down. So we renew everything. We redo all the wood, we fix the roofs, we redo the iron bars, we paint everything. Right now it's very nice. It's like this again. Next please. And we put cement around. Water system covers at gates and entrances. This is where they have the water to drink and to wash hands or whatever is the need. So we covered them and we did these protections and the tops too. So right now there's no way that the insects or whatever can come here to eat and contaminate the water. Next please. This is regular maintenance that we do to our water trucks. This is international truck. So you can see they come rusted because of the use. They are doing the transportation of water and everything. So we take them out. In the past town hall meeting I showed you that we take it out with a crane and then we repaint all the base and we do all the tank and then we put it back. Next please. Peterbilt water truck, 3 tires. We changed 5 tires in this side and 5 tires in the other side, so they are all running. Next, please. Backhoe, which you have been working, for example, doing the digging for the leaking of water to fix the pipelines and everything. It supports a lot of work, so from time to time they need repairs. In this case, it was a new piston installed. That's into the pneumatic system of the machine. So we are keeping it maintained. Next, please. In the last town hall, I showed you that we were doing for the riding workshop for the guy who fixed the radios, who fixed the antennas. This guy do a lot of work to us, and in the infrared system, he calibrates them, he gives maintenance to them. And so if these guys do that, we save a ton of money with the provider of the system. Because again, we are doing it by ourselves. The expert is not going to do it. So we are saving money again. Here is what we do in this time. All the furniture inside, it was owned by our carpenter. So right now, he can work in his bench, and he can have everything he needs there. And it looks like now from the outside right now. It was like this in the past. This was already in process of being repaired. So we have another good workshop area right now, which saves us money, time, and effort. Next, please. This is a brand new, well, it's a 2011 for us. It's a brand new Toyota Tacoma. We just bought it. And this is a 4x4. We needed one because sometimes we have to go into the wild areas chasing the bad guys. You are invited to go whenever you want. So we needed one and we get this one. It's in very good condition. And so right now we will put the lights in the top, we will put the decals in or the painting in the side, the searching light. We still have work to do, but it's another unit that we have. Next one, please. We are changing LED lights in all our areas. These were the new LED lights at the warehouse and security. So we are saving energy because the energy, as you have seen in your own bills, is getting up, is rising. So we are trying to save as much as we want everywhere. The ones that we take, well, we don't do it once at a time everywhere because we cannot do that. But the ones that we take out, we use to refill to, for example, these tubes in other ones that still have, when they were out, we use them. So we are not wasting that. Next, please. Our printer in security, which is the one that makes all the ID cards for the contractors that come to work to the ranch, or the cleaning ladies, or carpenters, or whoever who comes to work in the houses of the people, we provide them with ID cards. They pay a fee, and these fees pay, for example, for this. Because that's a revenue that's generated, so we can buy, for example, buy the new printer for these IDs. Next, please. The last two microwaves that we needed in the security gates for the guards, so they can warm up their meals that they bring for their shifts. It's Palos Verdes Sur and Rancho del Sol. So right now, we miss a night here and we miss a night here too. So right now we finish with the microwaves for a while. Next, please. Training. We have been very, very interested in training our people. We call the same company that provide us with the extinguishers came down and they provide a trainee for the employees of maintenance and security. First they were in a training in theory into the room in security. They were taught by the expert how they work, why there are different kinds of A, B, C, or ABC, or special extinguishers. And then they make practices with a tire, one of the old tires that we take out of the cars, and we use them. We agree with the supplier that we are going to do this each time that our extinguishers are going to be expired, for two reasons. First, we always have new people, so we will train them. And second, we will be sure that we empty the extinguishers, so he take them up empty and he will get them back replenished with new powder and new gas and new everything. So in that way we'll be always sure that they are perfect. Next. Leadership seminar. It was imparted by myself. All the employees of the HOA went through this seminar. It was leadership and how to become a good boss. So all the supervisors went into here. And next one, please. And the commitment seminar, which was again all the employees. We provide to them certification, so it goes into their own files in human resources. So they have their qualification that they have been acquired. Because by law we have to provide seminars or training to our people. In this way we complement that part too with the government. So we have two good things here. The people learn more and we comply with the law. Next one. This is another seminar that we did this year. This was done in 2 months, 1 month and a half ago more or less. CPR and DAE training. You can see the instructor is this guy. He used to work with us, his nephew. Maybe many of you knows him. He right now is working in Mexicali with one government agency in security. So he is still able to work with us, and he, like you can see, he brought several dummies so our people can train, practicing CPR and DAE training. So he is a very qualified person, so we are getting in the game by the source. Thank you. Next one. There was a seminar this was in the beginning of the year, I think so, or by the end of the last year. Energy Saving Expo Seminar. This is the same thing. We are trying to save as much energy. We sent 6 of our supervisors. You know Roman, you know Marcos. This is the guy in charge of the pool area. So they went to see new technologies, new substitutions that we can do, and new products and techniques to save energy. Next one, please. Activities curtains. We didn't have curtains, so a couple of ladies, or one lady, talked with the activity people and said, you know, guys, if you put the material, I will make them so we will have nice curtains here. And you can see that they are Mexican style, very nice, colorful, and it gives an ambiance to the area of activities, which is very used. It has a lot of use. I know. We did 2 air conditioning and painting and repairing the roof and all that last year, so it's coming very, very, very nice. We changed the floor last year too. Next, please. New activity sound system. Right now, you can see that right now you are not remembering exactly which is the next song at the pools, because in the past we have tapes and you have to hear it like 3 million times, so you know which one was the next song and in which song it make a boom or whatever. Right now we have this new system. It's it selects the music from the special station, so if there's no repetition, we have always different music. Next, please. The speakers, remember that we have like big ones right now. They're small, they can fit in the corner of a palapa. You can see here that we have very nice and very brand new equipment. Next, please. Here, here, here. New activities. The ranch is not just constrained to making maintenance and making repairs. We want to entertain our residents. You can see the guys here. They are, I think so, they are training the ladies. No, I think so, the teacher is this lady here in the center. But the guys have told me that all of them, they are very enthusiastic. It's a new activity, so everybody, if anybody there is likes the idea, please go there and have fun. You can see in the faces of the ladies and the guys that they are having a very nice time. Next. New activities. I call it new activity, but this was done before, but it was stopped. Right now, it is done again, and we are planning to keep it going on. And you can see all the people was angry and doesn't have any good time. So I think so. This is a very good experience. A good wine of Baja too. Next, the cooking class. Another success of activities. I can tell you, I have been in one, not participating, but watching, and everybody was having a good time. Funny things happen, everything. There was commentaries on the table that make you laugh. So if you want to go in, and then you will have to sacrifice eating what you cook. Next, please. Another one, the mini golf tournament. It started last year, but right now you can see it's growing. The people is liking it. There is people who has played for a long time, but there are newcomers, which is very important. Newcomers are important in any activity that we do, because that keeps the program growing on, and there are more players for golf or whatever activity there is. Next one, please. The Friday night golf night regular host tournament. Another one which involves golf. This is putting some more life into the court, because there are more players interested or having fun. Because they don't have to play the 18 holes for totally, they can have fun if they want to only play 9 for a day. Next, please. The cribbage tournament, same thing. It was done before, but right now it's getting new life. And you can see that there is a big response, so I like to see that. I am very happy that everybody is enjoying the activities. Next, please. The Desert Garden Club, this started last year, but you can see right now it has a lot of participants, and I'm sure it will keep growing. The help of the guys who know, it's invaluable. This is what I like to see, residents helping the community become together and work together and have more activities and enjoyment. Next, please. The fishing club, another one. There is people who like to fish, there is people who doesn't like to fish, but that's why we are trying to have different and more activities so we can appeal to the likes or not likes of the people. There's different things to choose. Now you can play from all these activities to pickleball, to swimming, to tennis, whatever you want to do. Or just walk around, enjoying the views of the beautiful Sea of Cortez, like that road roller just outside here at the right side. Natural at our window. This was EDR. The next one is La Ventana del Mar. Let me tell you, it was very hard to convince the road runner to show up at this exactly time. This is La Ventana del Mar. The beach road maintenance. This is by the beach next to the right side. If you see from the community to the sea, this is on the right side from the beach area, the access beach area we have. So we maintain all this road. It is not too much driving in, but it's a lot of people walking around it. So we redo it again. Next, please. Roads maintenance in La Ventana del Mar. We haven't put red there because we haven't had the budget to do it, but we are maintaining it as best as possible, doing it as often as it is needed. Next one, please. New flags. Here, let me tell you, we have a big problem with the flags in the past. They were very expensive and they doesn't last a lot of time. Right now we were looking and looking and looking until we find a new provider with very good prices, like 1/3 of they used to cost. And a material, it's a new material that lasts long, a lot more than the other ones. So right now, we solve another thing that we have in our minds all the time. We're saving money and they last longer. Next, please. Same thing, if we are putting nice flags, we put some reflectors, installations, so they can be seen and the people can know where is the entrance to the ranch. Because in the past town hall meeting, my attention was called, or it was in the GA maybe, a lady come up in the audience and say, you know, Roberto, we cannot see the entrance of the ranch anymore. So we aligned the entrance, plus we put reflectors to the flags, so the people can see from far away, oh, that's the entrance to La Ventana del Mar. Next, please. We have been repairing manholes. Many of them were like this. This is already stripped of the old cement, but this decaying, it was disintegrating, so it was becoming dangerous. So we are redoing them. Right now, this is the condition they finished done with new wood reflectors. Next, you will see from these new wood reflectors where they come from. Next, please. In the back of La Ventana del Mar maintenance area where the workshop is and the pump area and the gas area and all that, there are these two electric posts. They were decaying. All of this was already losing cement and the iron bars were exposed. So we make these coats, let's say coats, and right now they are protected again, they are in good shape and they will last longer. So we save very good money on those ones because they are very expensive. Next. Water boat cover at Palapa Pool. This was the way it was. And one day I was passing by, I said, you know guys, there are kids in this area. Who says that one kid cannot come in here? So we covered it and we put the lock and everything. So nobody can come in except the maintenance people. Next. Area 5 short circuit repair. This happened and we fix it. Here comes again in hand the backhoe. This is why we are doing a lot more work, because it helps us a lot of hours of labor from our people. When we're working with the backhoe, it's fast and easy. We repaired the short circuit, and now it's again working well. This causes a whole line of lamps to go out. So we have to do it fast so we get the light back. Next one, please. Area 9, electric cable replacement. This cable was sulfated with salt and everything. And right now we redo it, and it's going to last another number of years without any more problem. This was in area 9. Next, please. In all the entrance of the La Ventana, from the gate all the way down to the circles until the last one, we take out all the gravel. It was washed and it was reordered, and they make the signs in some areas. If you drive slowly, not as fast as sometimes we see people driving around, even our own people sometimes, we can observe that they do a very good job, and they put their heart on it, because they do very nice things, and they are very, very clean. Next, please. This new stage, right here in the front, where I sit over there at the top, we redo it completely. It was very old. 2 years ago we do a refurnishing, but it was just last minute repair, that one. So right now we finish it completely new, so it's going to be lasting for another 10 years at least. It's very solid, very well done. You can see the structure right here, and how everything was making in parts, so it can be assembled, and we can disassemble if we need, but we don't want because it's very heavy. Next one. The old wood, all the wood that was in the old one was recycled, and right now it's all these posts that we are using all around the curbing and along some streets and in all the reflectors in the roads. So we are not wasting, we are reusing everything we can. That's one of our purposes, saving money, so we can do more with less. Next, please. Maintenance shop roof repair. This is where in the back of the new International Pickleball Center there is the workshop for La Ventana del Mar. So we repair all the roof of all the area because it was very, very bad. This is the last thing we have to do there, because in the beginning we work in the inside because they didn't have benches or whatever to work with. Right now it's very nice, they can work and they are more productive because of that. Next, please. La Palapa woman bathroom steel mats at La Palapa. These were very worn out and very old. We changed them right now, and these are anti-sleeper. Very, very good ones. I can tell you that I have tried to sleep and I can't. I wanted to tell them this is wrong, and they proved they know you are wrong. So it's really, really good. Next. And they long the supplier guaranteed for 10 years. Next, please. This is the finished work of the International Pickleball Center. Here they were making the railings. Here they're working. When we finished the first time we did it, we know that it was going to crack because we have everything here is sand. And in research that I have done into the internet, I have seen books for many people who is expert in tennis courts and everything like that. And they say, it doesn't matter of what you construct your courts. If you are constructing in sand, they will crack eventually. So we know that. So we work on everything, and just before the tournament, we redo the cracks again, repainting it so it was like brand new again. So we give them in the ceremony of inauguration these 8 courts like this. So I think so it was a very big effort on part of our employees. I recognize them at the ceremony. I asked for a round of applause for them from the Pickleball Club, and they were very happy to do it. And I can see the satisfaction, our employees' faces, because they were recognized of this beautiful and very good job. That's the word. Next, please. Condo 174, erosion repair. From time to time, we have erosions in certain areas. So here you can see this big pipeline exposed, and there were cracks all around the area. So we fix it, and now it's okay. Next one, please. Another 554 condo erosion repair. You can see here, and this is the way it looks now. Next. Condo 4 water leak repair, same thing. It looks like this in the outside, but once you dig, you find out the really big problem. We replaced this valve with copper one, so this is a very good valve, very good quality, so they last long and very good. I can tell you that they are not cheap, but they are very good. Next. Site maintenance. I don't see the difference. Well, I like that you did. Okay, this is like it was. Right now it shows like this. It's a nice place to become. This is the entrance of the condos right in front of the pickleball center. So you can see right now it looks nice. Next one, please. We were asked by residents to put this stop sign right here. So here you can see the sign. So it's the same entrance to the condos. The pickleball court is right here in front of this side. Next. We finished installing the sinks in the BS 1 and 2. Right now, all of them are alike. And they are very clean. The bathrooms smell clean, no bad odors. And so right now they are very, very, very good. The people is happy. The renters that we have seen there, the owners that we have talked to say, no, this is a good change, I like it. So this is like they are looking right now. Next one, please. We changed the floor. Right here it says BS 1, but at this time we already did in BS 2. Women and men bathrooms. So we changed all the tile. That finished the work in the bathrooms. We are done. But we have very good premises back. Next, please. BS2 gate repair. This gate was falling down, so we redo these areas, the shingles. And you can see that some people sometimes they entertain taking out our signs. We will paint them, but we will not do plastic anymore. We will paint them, so that way they cannot take them out. But we redo this gate. We repair the gate. That's what I did. Next. Las Villas new parking area. This is what I was telling you. Here you can see our backhoe working, everything. Here is work. The guys working in. We bring in a cement truck. And this is the final work, totalized. Here you don't see the bumpers. No, you can see these stops overs, but the bumpers, oh here they are, yes, they are already there. But this is clean and everything. This is the final work. So we have 4 more spaces and we are going to be adding more this year. Next please. Condos that we paint and roofs that we repair start from here. Condo 22 painted the whole 4 units. Next. Condo 244, we repaired the roof. You can see here the work done. And here you can see the second part. Here is in black, here is in white already. And our guys working over here. Next. Condo 351, same thing, we repaired. Next, thanks God we don't have too much rain, so we can keep working on. We only skip like 3 or 4 days when it rains, and that's it. Condo 742, roof repair too, with the right waters out, let's call them. I don't remember the word right now. But for the water to run out. Next, please. Condo 41, roof repair too. Next. Condo 82, roof repair. You can see that there are only small areas. That's a good thing. And we haven't get back to repair roofs that we have repaired. Maybe they are new leakings, but the ones that we have done, we have not get back to repair them. The list right now, we only have 8 rooms to repair. When I came in, they were like 1.5 pages. Next, please. Condo 602, roof repair. This is something that I want to call your attention. In the condo areas, when the guys on the antennas for Telenor or whatever comes in, they do this kind of work and it's not good. They have to hide the cables because they doesn't look good and it's dangerous for themselves. They can get tangled in the wires and fall down. So they have to be more careful. So please, when they come to do work in your antennas, tell them to don't break the ties and to not leave the cables like free snakes on the roof. Next, please. So that's it. Thank you. With this, I finalize my presentation for you. And right now, first of all, I thank you for your attention and your patience. And now we will open the floor for questions and answers. Whoever wants to make a question, please come to the front. We have a resident right here.
Good morning. My name is Sammy Aspool. My wife and I live on Vista del Sol. If you're going north on Highway 5, you have to turn across the highway to go into the development. Well, apparently this is illegal. One of our neighbors was pulled over by the federal police and they gave her a verbal warning. What can we do to make this so we can live legally?
Okay, I really thank you for remembering me on that, because this is very important for you to know. Yes. The only legal turns is when in the highway there is a side road where you are for 2 lanes and there is one to the left. Those are the only legal ones. If the patrol police see you, they will stop you. Sometimes they are nice and just give you a warning, but they can give you a fine and they are not cheap. Why are they being more specific about this? Because we have very bad accidents. Like 1 month ago, I was driving from Mexicali to San Felipe, and I saw a small Jeep nested to the left side of a big trailer, and it was like a 8-wheeler. And for what I saw, the lady was driving on the right side. She tried to just turn to the left without even realizing there was this big ring. And the guy went off of the road and stopped in the median. I don't know how he did it, because I think so he was not driving fast. But if not, if he saw that there was no cars coming on the other side, but if not, he will just have to run over her. So please don't do that. And the median is not for turning left. We have to go to the next one, or come into the last one that has a left turn. To make it, let me be more specific. We have received a lot of things many times. Why don't you put dirt in the median so we can turn? First, I won't do it because it's illegal. The police will come after me to find the HOA. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if there is an accident, we are liable because we put the dirt. So, sorry, no. The only thing to make it legal is to send a request to the SCT, which is the Secretary of Transport in Mexico. And I can tell you beforehand what they're going to say. You are good at guessing. Yes, they are more worried about finishing the road to Laguna Chapala than making left turns at the ranch. That's a real thing. They have been working in that road for 10 years and they haven't finished yet. Last year they arrived to San Luis Gonzaga, and each time I asked, they told me, it's only 25 kilometers more. There has been for 2 years already. So I can tell you, until they finish that step, and besides that, they still have to do from San Felipe to Puertecitos. After they do to Chapala, they have to do to San Felipe to Puertecitos. So there's still some time to do that. So I really recommend to don't do the left turns. Please. Sorry, I have to say that. Next, please. Tony.
Yes, good morning. My name is Tony Cuevas, and I've been here for going on 13 years. I've been living here 24/7, 365 days. So this is my home. But Roberto, I got a question about the garbage bins on Saltillo Road. They get overfilled to the max. We got Holy Week coming up, Semana Santa coming the end of this month. So those garbage cans are going to get super. It's an eyesore. And the Semana Santa comes around and people are here raining. They throw, tons of garbage. And also after that week, it's going to be the 250 week. So it's going to be a lot of garbage all over that place. So if possible, instead of just one time a week, maybe a couple times during that time. It'd be nice.
Yeah, let me tell you something that we have been doing. We are adding, at these times, we are adding a second one. But it's not enough because you know what happened? The people doesn't want to go far away. If they go to the supermarket, they take the garbage and they dump it there. So that's a big problem. But we are going to work on that.
Yeah. Also, I got another question. The sign and that picture that I showed you when I got here this morning, the sign on Saltillo Road, I talked to Ricardo Perez about it, and he kind of discussed it at the last town meeting, and he did put something up, but it's so small. A lot of the snowbirds are here right now, and I do my walk, and my wife does too in the morning. A lot of people are walking, but a lot of people are going down Saltillo Road, and they're going pretty quick. Like, they got a job to go to. I hope everybody here is retired, so, they got to be nowhere. So, that's, and there's that police car here too, the one that's by the cantonera right there where the pools are at. If I may ask, what is it behind that? Because are we paying for that car to be there, sitting there, or what's the reason behind that for people hopefully to slow down?
We cannot pay the police. What we do is we pay the gasoline they use and the maintenance of the car, but we don't have any power over the guys. They come to work, and here we have a two-edged blade. If they start giving fines to everybody complains. If they don't give fines, everybody complains. So what can I do?
So in other words, Saltillo Road is no limit.
No. Don't twist my words. No. First of all, the people has to get to know that this is not a work race, it's a happy hour race. So we don't have to be that fast to get to our home or to our grocery store or whatever. Everybody here, even me, who are not retired, still working. I like this pace of life. I don't want to be fast living. I used to live in Mexico City, so you can imagine.
One more question, Roberto, I'm out of here. Okay,
One question, Tony.
Yeah, but I got 1,000 questions to ask, but anyway. There's now you considering, when you say about a town meeting here, are you just referring to El Dorado Ranch or San Felipe in general also? Because the question I got about San Felipe, the town, since the town meeting, I know a lot of you people know what's going on with the fishermen right now. There's a big old protest going on, and they got some guy up there who's, he's kind of on a hunger strike. And do you know anything about, would that kind of filter down to us down here, as far as living here, the protection that we got here, the security, because there's a lot of stuff going to be going on if this thing doesn't get solved. Thank you.
Well, first of all, the town hall meeting is for the El Dorado Ranch. I am not the mayor of the city, so I don't make town halls for the city. Like I said before, we are in contact with the police authorities of all kinds, federal, state, municipal, and specials. So we know what is going on. This guy is the leader of the fisherman movement. If he wants to go in a hunger strike, it's his right. If he wants to go and scream to the president of Mexico, it's his right. If he wants to do whatever he wants to do, it's his right. What I don't do is I don't go into parties that I am not invited. I know what is happening. I know him since he was a child. And I know with the authorities, they tell us their side of the story. We talk with the people in town, they tell us their side of the story, and we get to conclusions. Fishing problem will be solved sometime. Not tomorrow, I can tell you that. Because there are many things going on there. The gill nets, the environmentalists all around the world, everything. I am not against the protection of the vaquita or the totuaba of any species. I agree with that. But they have to find a way that the humans can live. Right now, they can fish. They can go fishing, but not right here. They can go down after Puertecitos and they can fish. But they want to do it right here in front. So that's another story. The nets that they are using are illegal. For what I am saying, you can see that I know. But I don't go to parties that I am not invited. I have enough things to do here. Go in town to help things that I have not any. They can hear my opinion because I have worked with the town for 25 years or more. And I was representing the town in marketing and tourism and many things in the past in tourism. But they can hear me, but they will tell Roberto, keep doing what you are doing. You do that and let us do it here. So I don't know. But that's the story. It's things that they have to solve. That's a new thing. Yes, sir.
Yes, question. You mentioned on the fideicomiso that not to pay them. Now I paid my fideicomiso for this year. Do I get my money back? Or go back and get my money?
If you already paid, that's it.
What is this? The real story on it? Do you have to pay them?
No, don't pay it. If you haven't paid, don't pay it until the company, this is CDR, Eldorado Ranch, tells you right now the deal is done. We have transferred all the trust from HSBC to BIM. Until then, you pay. If you haven't paid, don't pay. There's not going to be any problem. If you read the newsletter, there's a lot of information there. It will say, HSBC is retiring of the trust fees business. They have only like 5 employees to attend 12,000 people around the country. So they're a little bit busy. But Jesus Olmos, who is a representative of the ranch there with the bank, he is making a deal to make a package transfer of all the trusts. So that instead of you dealing one by one with the banks, which will take maybe a decade to finish, this is going to be a package. He's trying to deal a lower payment. It's different to make 700 something bank trust deeds at once than making one by one with 12 people. With 5 people attending 12,000 people. So please wait. That's the council that is on the newsletter. Wait, please. Yes.
Good afternoon. Jim Stapleton, House Road South 7, Los Cañeros Road. Statement is that I've learned, although I wasn't here earlier, that the original pickleball court Cashinita is going to be converted to a tennis court. I was under the understanding, as other members of pickleball, when we provided $3,000 for the conversion of La Palapa, tennis would provide $3,000 in the conversion of the Cashinita pickleball courts. And so it seems like what's taking place is different.
No, let me tell you that there are minutes of each meeting, and it established that no, the condition was to convert the pickleball courts of Cachanilla to a tennis court, so there will be two different centers, a tennis center and a pickleball center. Now, the $3,000 that the pickleball club provided, it was not to convert the court. The conversion of the courts was planned by the supervisors committee, not by the pickleball club. When we talk about it, the pickleball club come up and say, we want to help with $3,000. Let me tell you that $3,000, which was a commitment, is very different from $40,000 that was the total conversion. So $40,000 was the real price paid, and we have what we get because of that investment that was done by EDR and La Ventana Las Villas, HOAs. So we are not playing games. We did what we say, and we are going to convert the courts because that was the first and only statement. We are going to be a tennis area, and there's going to be a pickleball area. So why? Because there was a quarrel each time the two groups played together. So we say, okay, let's make peace, tennis, and pickleball. So if we want to get back again into that, there's no way.
It's not a difference of opinion. I believe you asked the pickleball group and the tennis group is to get together and negotiate. And I believe they did, and the clubs together negotiated that. That's what I recall.
No, excuse me. We asked the opinions, but the decision, the final decision is from the administrator. And that's in the rules and regulations. We hear the opinions of our members, but the final decision is on the administrator only.
Okay.
And we are looking for the best living of the community. We don't want groups having problems between each other. So I think separating the groups, letting everybody play their own game, it's healthy.
As an HOA's dues paying member on the mountainside, where those cashmere courts are located, I would just enjoy having a pickleball court there.
How are you enjoying the pickleball courts located at La Ventana del Mar? Being an EDR payment dues person.
Very good, and I appreciate that taking place.
So it's the same thing. We cooperate here, we cooperate there. That's called good living.
The next item, I don't feel there's adequate representation of the pickleball club within the supervisors and the HOA.
Well,
Because we tend to hear things after the fact when things are already decided, absent input.
okay.
I'm not here to argue, I'm just making an observation.
And I make you an answer for your observation.
And with my observation is, I believe correctly, the number of pickleball players on the rosters there's 5 or 6 times the number of pickleball players, HOA due paying members in tennis. And the activity level of the number of players on a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis is higher. So again, my goal here is not an argument, it's an observation. As a member of the pickleball club, it seems as we find out things after the fact, our voices are heard. Thank you for the forum, I appreciate the forum.
Okay, let me answer to you this. As I said before, there are 2 workshops. Your proposal can be presented at one of those workshops. You can make a plan, present it to the supervisors meeting, and we can talk about it. Once for one. Second, what I know, according to the regulations, what the administrator recognizes as a committee is a committee. A club is a club. It's different. So if you become a pickleball committee with the authorization and approval of the administrator, then you're a committee. When we are going to do a project, we call for example, in this case, because there were the 2 clubs, we call the 2 clubs, not one, both of them, and we hear both of them, and then we talk. Then we decide what we're going to do, but the decision final was us, the administrator. So I invite you to come with a proposition in one of the next workshops. We'll have two, so that will give you the opportunity to be here on time before anything is done. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good morning. My name is Lloyd Amborn. My wife and I have owned our property in Los Viejos Sur for 22 years. We've enjoyed it very much. First of all, thank you for your excellent informative presentation this morning, Roberto. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
My question in that regard, I was impressed with the energy saving aspect of your presentation. In our primary residence in San Diego County, we have a pool, and we initially heated it with propane, and we could watch the gauge on the tank go down in front of our very eyes. And then we replaced that propane heater with a pool solar heating system about 12 years ago. My question really is that all the pools that country, I realize you might not be able to do all the heating with solar, but in view of all the sun here, why aren't we heating some of that water with solar?
We are doing the jacuzzi, but it's not enough. We have to add panels, and eventually we will be working toward that ends because the gas will never stop going up. Right? We know that, and this year it gets a hike, a very big hike. When we work in the budgets, it's a budget. It's a guess how much is going to be spent in certain aspects, but we can never anticipate the government decisions on rising the gas or electricity. This year, during the last 6 months of the year, the gas was going up, and then on January, they give another very hard increase in prices. Same thing with the electricity. In the electricity, it gets so crazy that all the counties in Baja protested it, and they get back and put it where it was, and they're going to increase again, but they will make differently, because this was like, some people were going to pay 300%. I am talking about business, not homeowners. But business was crazy. When we received the first bill, we were like, what? Incredible. But all around Baja has the same thing, and everybody went to the government, they got back. So yes, we are seeing into that, because yes, I agree with you. It's like having a Ferrari. You push the pedal and the gas goes like this. The odometer goes like this, the gas goes like this, yes. We will work on that. Thank you for that. Yes, ma'am.
Jeannie Ramon, Los Viejos Sur. Just to follow up with that, where are you working on the solar? Where are you working on for the pool?
Right now, we don't have a special budget this year for that. We are learning. We are acquiring information because we want to do it very right. Right now, Ricardo Montaño, who is our architect, he has been in 3 different seminars of electric energy, solar electric energy, and he is working on that. We are going to put a plan together to save as much as we can, because we have the space. For example, one of the ideas we have is to put shades in the parking lot, and all those are going to be covered with electric panels, solar panels. So in that way we can get all that solar energy into our system. But we have to make the numbers too, because it's not cheap either, but we are working on that. When we have the final project, we will present it, and we will tell the people how much is it going to cost.
So on most projects, and this is a rather big project, you usually have a timeline. So can you say where you are on the timeline?
Give us this year, because in this year there's no budget still to do it. So anyhow, if we have the project, we cannot start it until next year. So if we have the project finished and the numbers and everything by the GA, then we will present it.
So we would expect to have some timeline, at least a format, by the end of this year for 2019, correct?
If we think that is feasible. because it gets back to the money. Because first thing we have to, I can have a beautiful project, but if I don't have the money to do it, there's no timeline. So that's why I really avoid to give timelines, because when anybody says a timeline or a price, you are tired of for life. And if something happens that changes the price or something that changes the time, you are in trouble already. So I prefer to say, here is a project and here is the money it's going to cost, and now we go for it or not.
But we will be updated.
Excuse me?
We will be updated.
Oh yes,
Okay.
yes. We'll have another one in June.
Okay. Security.
Yes.
I'm a monitor of San Felipe Chatters. Anybody follows that, but it's quite entertaining. But lately there's been some talk on there as far as break-ins and squatters in some of the vacant homes
Where?
on Mountainside.
There has been only two. There was one that even the owners find out their properties in another house. I can't give a lot of details because we are doing an investigation on that. We are doing something very special there too. So if I say what we are doing, they will be aware. There is somebody from the ranch involved,
Okay.
an owner.
Okay.
So we are working on that.
I understand. Juanitos. I was at the last meeting, and a woman had mentioned why couldn't Juanitos be used as a community center since the one up on the mountainside is so small. And then I heard, which this might be a rumor, that it is occasionally rented out for private parties. The monies for the private parties go back to the homeowners. And why is it that that can't be used occasionally for the community?
Well, first of all, the Juanitos is not an HOA building.
It is.
Juanitos is a company building, which is Pat Butler's ownership.
Okay.
That's not the HOA, and we don't rent anything. We are only doing the HOA thing, which is we don't sell, we don't rent, we don't do anything else.
Okay. No, that makes sense. That clears
Yes,
that
no.
up. I go to the pool every day. One thing I appreciate, I'm very visual, and I like all your pictures of all your updates and everything that homeowners are spending money on, because our employees, your employees, need to have good working tools, equipment, vehicles, and whatnot. We need to do something about the pool. The pool people are excellent. Elvira, David, Alvaro, Petra, they're great employees. I go down there every day, and the days that Elvira's down there, she has to cart her supplies back and forth through the gate, back along the back side of the gate to her car, or maybe it's, the ranch's car, I don't know. That's unacceptable. It's bad safety practices, it's bad for her back. There either needs to be a gate built there so that she can just put it in her car, or else she needs to have the car be able to be parked right by the gate so she can get her equipment in and out.
Okay, let me make just a note about that. I'm going to advise Pat Butler about that because food and beverage operation is from Pat, not from the HOA. We don't have any food and beverage operation. I agree with you. I don't know if you have seen me around. I am one of the persons that I say hello personally to every one of our employees, shake hands with them. I give a lot of check kisses to my friends for years. Elvira, I have known her maybe for 30 years already. We were very young when we met. And her husband too. So I agree with you. I respect our employees. That's what I try to train them. Because I just don't want to be workers. I just want to be better people and to grow and have better opportunities in life. Many of the skills that they have learned here, they use after hours earning some more money outside of the ranch. So that's what I like to train people. They can have extra money doing things that they learn here.
So what I hear you saying is that for her to get a gate put in, or to park her car closer so she's not straining her back and forth with all the supplies. This falls on Pat Butler, and that's who I have to talk with.
About how that can be fixed, maybe she can get one of the employees of maintenance from here to help her take out everything out. Parking, she has to park by the entrance, and that's the closest that can be. From there, it has to be carried back. I don't know, maybe a dolly or something can help her out. I will talk with Pat about that.
Okay, and so this is a pretty big hot button for me, so I need to know who's going to get back to me or who I need to talk to within a week to get this
You can
fixed.
talk with me. You can send me an email and I'll answer you.
Okey doke. Okay, thank you.
Okay, my name is Jude Bowden, and I live at Mr. Delmont, and the HSBC Bank I am a member of. And I've been paying them by my bank on my pay on the computer for 11 years to Palatine, Illinois. This year, it was very hard to find out where to pay my payment that was due in February. With a lot of research, I finally got hold of a person, I think her name is Carla Valdez, and she emailed me back, and to my surprise, and she told me, yes, you can still use the Palatine, Illinois address. I was thankful for that, because I had it on my computer with pay bill. That money has been paid. I have proof of payment by my bank. I asked for a receipt from Ms. Carla Valdez. Now the email bounces back. So is my payment still good? Because I have paid already, and you're saying not to pay it?
This is from the HSBC. Yeah, if you pay it, it's good. If you paid it, you paid it, but, sorry. Yeah, if you already paid, you already comply with the bank. The thing is, if the special deal is done, you will not get any refund. The banks don't do refunds. If you pay the full amount now, or whoever pays the full amount now, if the deal is done later, for example, let's say, if you pay $100 now, and when the deal with the two banks is done and it is only $75, the bank will never get you back the other $25. That's why the suggestion from Jesus Olmos is don't pay until the deal is finished.
How come we weren't told that?
Because the bank were not doing anything. HSBC, something that has been said many times, but I realize that not everybody has understanding, is that HSBC doesn't want to do trust anymore. They are going out of the market. They are closing all their operations in bank trust.
Well, what we were told, what I was told,
Yes.
that being I've been a member of HSBC Bank for so long,
The thing is this, the company doesn't go through collecting the money to pay the bank. It's an individual payment of each fideicomiso. So when Jesus almost started hearing that nobody was paying attention to the people, he started talking with the bank, and that's when they say, you know, we are going out of this, we are not interested in doing this anymore, so we will be closing it. But then he said, you know, we have 756 fideicomisos. How is this going to be done? And they say, we don't know.
but the problem,
That was the first talk.
the problem with that is if you don't pay your payment, like we always do with abiding citizens, we get the liens put on our place.
No. No, because right now, the deal that Jesus is doing is with the bank. They know that they are not going to be paid. Because right now, the dealing is between the company and the bank and the new bank.
Okay.
So once that is done, that will be, the whole fideicomisos will be transferred. The only exception is if somebody says, I don't want to go to BIM, I want to go to Vancomer. Then it will be a personal thing to go to Vancomer and do it and that. But
Well, I did go to Vancouver, and they told me, I would have to redo my Federico as of day one. And there's no way I'm going to pay that kind of money.
that's what I am saying. If the thing is to go with the deal that Jesus Olmos is doing with the bank, that will solve everything. Because if not, you will be in your own dealing with the banks, and they will say, you have to pay the new fideicommis.
You also said something about with the new bank, there's a package deal.
That's what Jesus is trying to do.
And what would that cost?
I don't know. That's what they are dealing with right now. This is between HSBC, because HSBC wants a fee to let everybody go out, and BIM wants a fee to let everybody go in. So that's a mediation thing right now.
Because I have already checked that out. And they're really wanting to charge me another $3,000 to change my...
Let me tell you something. Like I am HOA, I am not into it. I really don't know the details. What I suggest is if you talk with Mr. Jesus Olmos. Jesus Olmos.
Could you spell that?
Jesus. Olmos.
Anyway, okay, another question besides that is Telmo.
Forget about Telmo.
Well, the thing is, we paid them a monthly due for phones and computers. The phones don't work. I have gone into Telmo and I was told that, quote, we do not come to El Dorado anymore because Mr. Butler owes money. I had sent 2 emails to Mexicali about the problems with the system, which is there, the new Wi-Fi. And no response.
They will never respond you because they say they are not going to do anything. Not just here. What they are doing is they are not investing in any hard lines. First, because it is not because Pat Potter owns their money. There's no debt with Telmo. The problem is here. If there is a house close to the mountains, they will not invest 7 million pesos just for one telephone line. And that was what's happening at the ranch. There are some areas that are together, but the majority is separated.
Our system is really working well. The phone works well, the phone's on fire. But it's just annoying if you have to pay something.
On the HOA side, I can tell you that I sit with the general director of OBAHA, which is sitting in Tijuana, with the coordinator of the regional manager of Telor in Mexicali, and they tell us, you know, our central Mexico stopped any investment of any kind for lines, telephone lines, and internet, for internet. They stopped everything. And that's what I say, if you have a good service in internet, keep it. If you don't have it and you don't have a telephone line either, stop paying and take it out. But if you get good internet, keep it.
Hello,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm a new owner here, and we don't have any buildings, but I'm wondering about the permits. I'm hearing all sorts of things. There's different fees. If you're nice, you get this fee. If you're not nice, you get that fee. You have to pay someone this, and it's almost where I have people who are coming down interested, and I'm saying, I wouldn't buy anything because it seems to be very confusing. I know people, because they were nice, they didn't have to pay $2,500, they got to pay $1,700.
Let me explain to you how this works. And I will not talk about this first. I will give you another example. If you construct something in the United States, do you need a permit construction?
Yes, we get it, but it's a set fee. It's a printed set fee. There's no
Same here.
dickery.
Same here.
Oh.
You can go to Gina in the engineer office and ask her, how much is for plans, how much is for survey, how much is for everything I need to construct my house, and she will give you a printed paper sheet with all the costs. And then you don't have to be hearsay.
Good. Who is that?
Gina,
Gina.
It's let me try to.
That's fine, I don't
It's the
have.
next building where the lake, you can see from the road. There is the engineering office and maintenance office, which is right in the entrance. Or if you want, you can talk with the architect Montaño. He is the director of development and construction and all that, designs and everything. And he can help you out with everything. And besides, when you vote, they give you a book, which is the guidelines and construction guides of the whole development. And everything is there, except cost, because that changed. But the cost, you get them from Gina.
Sir, thank you.
You're welcome. And I like my oatmeal with raisins for a nice price.
Ross Wilkin, I have property on both sides of the ranch, and I have a home Vista Del Mar.
Yes.
Questions relating to the Chachmia pool. You mentioned that new shade things will be built and so forth. And I would just request that, like if most of us might recall a couple of years ago, we kind of as a group helped design a future community center to be built in that area. That kind of relates to the questions that came up earlier about timelines. This was what, 3-4 years ago that was started, and we don't know what the timelines are, and I'm certainly sympathetic to that. But I would ask that if this is any sort of a design change, that we at least have the opportunity as homeowners and people that use the pool to maybe submit ideas or see what the designs are. Because again, as I've stated, I think in each meeting that I talk in my opinion, that pool looks like an urban YMCA versus a resort, living kind of place. And from what I understand, that was on purpose, that they didn't want palm trees, they didn't want any of this, and I don't know who they are, but I'd like to soften that pool up if there's any way to do it. So if there's new shade things put in, I don't think designing them to be some futuristic, thing is the way to go. We need to soften the look of that pool. We have a beautiful pool down here in the sea, which is having its problems deterioration-wise, but it looks like a resort pool. It looks like the tropics. It looks like, I think, what a lot of us came here to see and enjoy. So I'd like to see that look carried forward into the new pool if it's at all possible.
Yeah, I suggest you guys to talk with Ricardo Montaño. He has the floor plans, he has everything, he has the designs that we are planning. You can go there, talk with him, and he's the expert. I am not.
Okay, all right. And who's that?
Ricardo Montaño.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know Ricardo.
And if I can ask one other question, because I've heard 3 or 4 different opinions, and it's not an HOA or even an El Dorado Ranch question per se, but the road that's being paved parallel to Saltillo Road, currently it's kind of the road to nowhere.
No.
I know we've had these issues in the States, so I ask, and I know we're not paying for it, but where is it ultimately going to go and what is its purpose?
This is a long story, and I will make it short. In the mountains, back in the back of the mountains, there is a valley. They're growing all kinds of crops right now there. They're growing strawberries, they're growing watermelons, melons, grapes, all kinds of stuff. And it's becoming a blooming area for farming. So you have seen big trucks coming down our Saltillo Road sometimes. And that's because sometimes the rains make the other road very hard to drive by. And the problem is not to drive it, the problem is the vibration. If you have strawberries in the back of the rig with all this vibration, you have marmalade by the end you come to the number 5. It becomes smashed up. Same thing with the fruit. So these people from the valley talk with the government, and this is an investment that the SCT, the Secretary of Transport, is making. And they are making right now the first 10 kilometers. The total amount is 50 kilometers. But right now, as a matter of fact, I went in it the first time 3 days ago. I went from the Highway 5 to our first gate, where is the storage. it's already done, that part. And I planning to go all the way down to it finished. Supposedly, it was going to be 10 kilometers. So this is why it is done, to help these people take out their crops without any problem. And for sure, they get in trouble with us whenever they use our road, because the people start complaining, they're destroying our roads, we are paying for the roads, all that. So we told them, guys, and say, well, guys, understand us, if we go through that road, we're going to have mermaid. Say, well, but you are hurting our roads. Say, well, we will work on there, because they get help from the ejido with their machines to do the same work we do now, but from time to time only. So that's why they are getting the paved road. That's the reason.
Okay, I brought that up because there's various rumors. One of them even being that because Pat Butler agreed when he first did the development to move that road over to there, there's some people saying he also agreed to pave it and that this is coming out of his pocket.
No.
So I wanted it to come out that that's not the case.
No, that's not the case. And even in town, if you go right now, for example, I put it in the newsletter around 2 months ago, all the streets that we're going to be paved in town. Right now, for example, the one that goes from the IMSS clinic in downtown, all the way to the road that goes to the airport, is like 7 streets, more or less. They make a nice boulevard.
Yeah.
They are even putting sidewalks on there. And the best thing of this is there's no cost for the residents. This is some work that is being done by the mine. They are putting some money on the county. So those are excellent news. That's money that is taken out of the community because they're exploiting the mine, but they are putting some money back for the community too.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Hola.
Hola.
Thanks for having the meeting, and I'm a new owner in ranch across the street. 2 questions, please. My first one is, do we have a specific person relative to the HOA and the development who deals with environmental concerns or biology or sustainability?
Yes, we have an ecology department, and this guy he's very well versed in that because he used to work with the government for years. He was in different areas of the government, all of them, and he is a biologist by career, so he knows. And he has been in charge of all our things because we are in the protected area of the high Gulf of Baja California.
See.
So we have to be very careful on that. Even the population of the areas is directed by rules by the government. So, for example, there are areas that will never have pavement over there because they have to be left like desert.
See, and
Green belts and all that.
what is his name?
His name is Victor Zazueta.
Okay, and where do we find him if we want to chat?
Why don't you check with me and I'll put you in contact with him because he's all the time in the field.
Oh, okay, very
It's
good.
very hard to get him in his office. To get me in my office is like 15%. To get him in the office is like 0.5.
Okay, because there's several things, whether it's tree mortality or the amount of dead plant material that's accumulating on the ranch, and what are we going to do with that? That's sustainable. But my second question, please, is could you briefly touch on the recycling program for the ranch and how we might be able to expand that and set a great example for the community and cut down on garbage?
Let me tell you something. There is something that is happening, and is that in San Felipe, the dump doesn't recycle anything. I have talked with Gary Daly, who is a guy who has a company who collects the trash. And he has made all kinds of studies to make his business grow. If there is somebody who is more interested in recycling than the rest of us, it's him. Because if he collects everything, it will be very good to expand into recycling. But talking with him, he told me, Roberto, in everything I have done, we need a town of 60,000 people at least, so we have enough material to make it profitable. Because, for example, one of the problems is to take the recycling things from here to Mexicali, which is the closest one. So he has made all the numbers, and he says, by the time you finish separating, paying for all that separation, putting in containers, sending them to Mexicali, paying for the gas, the driver, etc., and the prices they pay over there, you are losing money. So that's why I just asked him what we could. We have that conversation. And he told me that he already submitted a plan to the city. He says, if all the business people in town get together and put the effort together, maybe it will work, doing it from business people. But for experience, I know that it's not going to happen. Just to create, for example, the restaurant business camera, it has never been possible. So to put everybody in the same loop is going to be harder. But he said, I already make a plan, I already presented to the city, and I am waiting for their response. So maybe you will be interested in talking to him.
Okay, very good. And I would just hope that all of the residents here would like to set a shining example of what a community
I
can
agree with
be.
you. Let me tell you a story. There is a guy in town. His last name is Romo. Everybody calls him Mr. Clean. He's one guy, but himself, he goes out with his truck with water, and he waters trees, and he picks up trash. Sometimes he goes to different schools, he put kids together, and they clean the beach, or they clean the main streets, or whatever. And he has done a very good job. He has been recognized 1,000 times for it. But ask me who else helps him.
Hopefully, yes. Hopefully,
Yes. But this is an example. In the past, the ranch has a recycling program led by Victor Sesueta. But it happened the same thing. When we did all of that, when he finished with all of that, he went to the authorities and said, yes, put it in the dump. And there it was back again with the rest of everything. So we said, well, I wasn't here at the HOA at that time. But they say, well, what are we going to do all of this? All this work, all this expense, to finally put everything together in the dump, like it was in the beginning. But you can talk with Gary Dilly, you can talk with, what's his first name? No, this guy, Romo. Martin Romo.
Martin and Victor. Okay.
Yes, Martin and Victor.
Thank you.
If you can find Victor, give your data to Ricardo in the back, and we will put you and Victor in communication. Please. Yes, Tom.
Tom Gorman, Buena Vista. I just want to make sure I understand, because I have a HSBC fideicomiso, and the suggestion is not to pay your fee, and it sounds like this transfer is imminent. Like, is it that HSBC doesn't want to honor these fids? You said they want to get out of the business, but these were supposed to be 50-year irrevocable fideicomiso. So it sounds like they want to get out. So this transfer sounds like it's imminent to this new bank, BIM.
Yes. It will take the negotiation for what Jesus told us is at least 1 year.
Yes.
1 year.
1 year. Because, like I say, they have very few people in the bank working on this, and they have thousands of people. So the good thing is here that they will say, okay, we have 12,000 people, and we are going to get sold 756 once. They will give more attention to the rent than anybody else. And even like that, it will take around at least 8 to 1 year. 8 months to 1 year.
So the holder of the HSBC fideicomiso is not going to have to pay anything for this transfer, or we don't know yet?
We don't know. As a matter of fact, the test, like I say to our friend, is that the one who has all the data is Jesus Olmos. Right. Because that's done by the company, not by the HOA. I am the boss, I am giving advice because it's in our newsletter. And And I tell the people, go there, read it, because there's information.
And if you're not paid up on your fees, let's say you're 5 years behind to do this transfer, you think they're going to have to make you pay up?
I don't know. That's out of my sphere. I really don't know. Jesus knows about it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I've been living on the ranch for about 17, 18 years. Lately, it's when we come down to the movies or leave late at night from Pavilion, this area down here is completely dark. And there should be some lights going down there so we don't break our necks.
Yes, again, please understand, there are two areas. HOA, developers. The pavilions is developers.
So who do we talk to about that?
Mr. Paco.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, if there's no more questions, I really thank everybody of you. See you in June. I will be glad to talk about something in my office.